Good evening. My name is Susie Ramirez, and I am the Executive Board President. Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your hats and caps, and everyone please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Afterwards, please remain standing for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now replace your hats and caps. Please be seated. Thank you.
Good evening, Kinnelon administration, the Board of Education, KHS teachers, staff, friends and family, and especially the class of 2019. Thank you for everyone to be present today and for helping us get here. If there's one word to describe the class of 2019, it would be united. I had a friend from the class of 2018 come up to me and say, "Sophia, what is up with your grade? You guys are like one unit. It's weird." But in my head, I'm thinking, it's not weird. We've just been through it all with each other. From Antoine moving to Texas to when he came back from Texas. We have survived the Coxsackie virus, we've experienced the birth of Snapchat streaks, and the rebirth of mom jeans. Take a second to think about those input-output boxes we used to do in elementary school. We inputted high school as clueless freshmen, debating whether the color fluctuating dress was actually black and blue or white and gold. And we outputted at the highest honor as KHS graduates. The world is divided, but here, the class of 2019 is one. As a class, we treat one another based on what is on the inside. We look past personal beliefs, individual backgrounds, and even any embarrassing middle school memories. We treat one another as people, because at the end of the day, we are more alike than we are different. Now, I'd like to take you on a guided tour through the class of 2019's experience. Let's begin. Change. So what could possibly change since kindergarten, right? For one thing, we have definitely been through physical changes, as we learned in the iconic elementary school health video just around the corner. Look around. We have been through those changes. I remember like it was just yesterday, walking through the hallways and literally looking up at the giant seniors. Greg Brinster, I know you can't relate, but we have come a long way since tiny freshmen. And don't worry, Isla, your time will come soon. In our futures, we will continue to go through changes. We will face obstacles and we will be taken out of our comfort zones. It is key to learn how to accept and adapt to change. As a class, boy, did we go through some changes. We started out from jamming to Baby by Justin Bieber to now bumping to Mo Bamba by Sheck Wes. However, there are some things that need to change for the betterment of our futures. For example, at prom, boys, pushing is not a dance move. You owe all of us girls and their permanently bruised feet an apology. Though change is good, there are some things I hope stay the same. Like the famous split dance move done by Jenny that never fails to hype our class up as a unit during Spirit Week karaoke. It wouldn't feel right if Gabe's hand wasn't always raised in the classroom. I also hope the ridiculous nicknames that were created for our class stick to each other. I want to be able to run into AJ Finelli in 20 years and greet him by saying, "Hey, Dad Bod," just as I do now. Or even better, running into 10 out of 10 and instead of calling them by name, acknowledging them by number. "Hey, number 10, I hope to see you soon." We have proven that our grade is beyond capable of working well with others, respecting one another, and accepting our individuality as a whole. And I know that will never change. And not to flex too hard, but our grade does have the record amount of triplets. Now, as we almost reach the conclusion of our tour, I'd like to share something about the class of 2019 that resonates with me. What makes this class so exceptional is our overwhelming spirit and talent. It is no lie that we dominate Spirit Week. If you ask the other grades, they will say we are too competitive, but we just don't like to lose. Our grade is also extremely gifted. Between Evan Lane's films and Mitch P's edits, on top of D1 athletes and Ivy League-bound students, we sweep it away with the academics, the arts, and the athletics. You name it, and our grade has it, even if a special talent is making a tasty panini. And one final note to the class of 2019 before I sign out. We're leaving here with great memories and lessons, so many tied to our class being so well-rounded, but also tied to our silliness and friendships. For example, we all remember during Spirit Week Nico's iconic pie eating contest and how they were always victorious, except for junior year where Antoine stepped up and still achieved first place. But was it really Nico's ravenous appetite that led him to victory? Or was it something more? Was it us enthusiastically chanting, "Feed him more"? When we look back at that silly chant, who knew that those 3 words can be practiced in all aspects of our lives? So life, feed us more, teach us more, test us more, and keep feeding us because the class of 2019, together and apart, will never forget and will never be full. Thank you for everything, and congratulations to the class of 2019.
Good evening, teachers, administration, family, and friends, and of course, you guys, the class of 2019. Might I be one of the first to say congratulations. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah, and as the salutatorian of this class, it is an honor to speak to you tonight on behalf of the amazing graduates sitting behind me. When I was asked to present this speech today, I think it's safe to say that I was terrified. So naturally, I procrastinated. I thought long and hard about what I would say tonight and came up with absolutely nothing. So at 2 a.m. yesterday morning, I poured a big bowl of Cheerios, sat down on my laptop, and did what we seniors do best. I plagiarized. Or in other words, I just looked for inspiration. But after hours of best graduation speech videos on YouTube, I still had nothing. There are simply no words fit to describe each and every student behind me. But together, our class has been through a lot. We've had students come and go from other schools and to other places. We've faced changing schedules, changing teachers, changing everything. And we've endured. But I think that we've made one huge mistake, especially me. Throughout high school, I laid low. I put my head down and I worked hard. And I put passion into everything I did. But like many of my fellow graduates, I did it all with this endgame in mind. Always thinking about tonight, even counting down the days. And while it was because of those choices that I'm speaking here today, it is still one of my biggest regrets. And I think a lot of the graduates behind me have made similar mistakes. But hey, as a class, we've made a lot of mistakes together. We have embraced them, and we have also learned from them. We got detentions for lates before we learned to just sit in the car and take the absence. We learned not to kick the volleyball in gym class, or at least not when Mr. Souls was looking. We learned not just how to spark note, but how to spark note well. How to know a book inside and out without reading a single page. We took Spirit Week pretty far. What some classes might call intensity, we would like to call enthusiasm or class spirit. But in the end, we learned to forget the rivalries and simply have fun. Yes, we have learned through our mistakes, and we will learn through this one, as we have already started to do. Perhaps at times we trucked through high school just waiting for Friday, for spring break, for graduation. But now that we're here, we are done waiting. Ferris Bueller famously said, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it." And for these past couple weeks, the seniors have taken this to heart. We passed time with our friends and family. Through Senior Sasson, we got to know each other, or at least got to know each other's dogs as they barked at us while we hid in the bushes. We went to the beach, we played games, we learned through our senior service projects, and we had fun. And when school comes back in the fall, I want the seniors to remember this feeling. Remember what you've learned through high school, and not just the silly textbook stuff. Remember that hard work can get you anywhere, that to change the world, you only need to change one person's world, to just pass on a little happiness to one person you cross paths with. Remember that each second is a second to grow, to learn, and to change. And finally, I implore us all to stop waiting for a moment to come. The moment is now. And as I look on the class of 2019 and reflect upon what we've learned through our mistakes, I can't even begin to wonder at what remarkable moments the future may hold for us. For my last words, looking at my fellow graduates, I want to thank you guys. Thank you for being a classmate, a peer. Thank you for being a good influence, or sometimes that much-needed bad one. Thank you for being a leader, or for following in what you know is right. Thank you for being a teammate, a lab partner, a group member. Thank you for being a companion, and thank you for being my friend. Congratulations, class of 2019. You deserve this.
Hello, everyone. I hope you enjoy my speech a little bit more than we're enjoying the humidity right now. Good evening, students, family, friends, faculty, and honored guests. And in case I missed anyone, I'm just going to do what I normally did on a test when I was unsure and just choose option D, all of the above. I am honored to speak before you this evening. To be completely honest, I had a difficult time deciding what my topic for this speech should be. I grappled with analyzing the formal qualities of quintessential artworks in art history that demonstrate the dynamic influences of anthropocentrism and theocentrism as a metaphor for the choices we make, or maybe drawing parallels between the uncertain yet exciting journeys on which we are about to embark and the journeys of characters in classical literature, or perhaps providing a thorough explanation of an extremely obscure scientific phenomenon to serve as a reminder for the great design of life. But don't worry, I won't go there. And instead, I'll focus on something a little more universal, Dr. Seuss. So instead of I am the Lorax and I speak for the trees, I'll say I am Peter Davin and I speak for the graduating class of 2019. Many of us have had the privilege of knowing one another since grade school, but we've also made extraordinary new friends along the way. We shared a plethora of experiences and have grown together as a class. One experience of mine that I recall particularly well was my role as Cat in the Hat in this year's spring musical, Seussical. And though Dr. Seuss's stories are generally more popular with the younger crowd, the underlying messages they convey have broad applications to all of our lives. Like in the Sneetches, where the characters learn to not define themselves based on certain physical features, the class in front of you has defied labels. Some of the most athletic members of this class are also incredibly smart. Some of the most artistic are also the best athletes, and some of the most tech-savvy are some of the most musical. We are able to see each other not as one-dimensional, but as complex human beings. As in the Lorax, where the characters learned the importance of sustainability and standing up to greed, this class embodies service to the community and courage of conviction. We've participated in several fundraisers, raising money for homeless veterans, children in the foster care system, and victims of natural disasters like the earthquakes in Ecuador or Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico, to name a few. We understand the necessity of being a part of something larger than ourselves and the responsibility we have toward one another in a world of ascending social consciousness. And as in Horton Hears a Who, where Horton kept his promise to defend the residents of an unseen world on a speck of dust, this class is able to come together in solidarity even under the most difficult and trying of circumstances. Just this past fall, we stood together in support of our fellow classmates around the Colt statue just outside to pay tribute to one of the most respected football coaches and members of the Kinnelon community, Coach Duffy. The world we're about to enter may not be perfect, but I believe that we, the class of 2019, alongside the rest of our generation, can make a positive difference in our local and global communities. In many of Dr. Seuss's stories, he makes it explicitly clear that though confronting the problems in our lives may be difficult, we must do so directly and head on. From what I've seen over the last 4 years, these graduates have the tools to be agents of change and are more than capable of implementing them for the betterment of our world. When we accept the limits of our knowledge and our experiences, only then can we open ourselves to the world's limitless perspectives, find common ground, and recognize the legitimacy of other narratives, even of those with whom we disagree. Knowing this graduating class, I see nothing but hope, because before you are some of the most tenacious and kind-hearted people I have met, and it serves as a testament to their character. Nonetheless, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that our accomplishments are not entirely our own. To the parents who drove us to countless meetings, practices, and rehearsals, even at the most ungodly of hours of the day. By the way, Mom and Dad, I'm going to need a ride home tonight around 2 or 3 a.m., so if you guys want to rock, paper, scissors for that, that'd be great. Thanks. To the faculty and staff of KHS who put in an unquantifiable amount of time to provide us with the opportunity to succeed, and to all of you who worked behind the scenes. Without you, none of this would be possible. So I say this on behalf of all of us here. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you have done. And to the class of 2019, we have the power to interact with the world and to transform it into our vision. Never forget, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Whatever your passions may be in life, you have the ability to make a difference, and you have the ability to affect change. Though we may be young, we have unlimited potential. As the Lorax says, a seed may seem small and insignificant, but it's not about what it is. It's about what it can become. We have planted our roots in Kinnelon, but here marks the point where we begin to grow and to become. And what we become is entirely in our hands. So to conclude this speech, I would like to leave the class of 2019 with something to carry going forward as we embark on the journey of our lives, which I think sums up how we, as a class, can change the world with wisdom we learned at a young age. In order to do so, I'm going to do the one thing younger siblings are best at, and that is taking things from their older siblings without asking them for permission. So to my sister Allison, here's a reprise of your 8th grade graduation speech. Of all the things you learn, here remember this the best. Don't hurt each other and clean up your mess. Take a nap every day, wash before you eat, hold hands, stick together, look before you cross the street, and remember the seed in the little paper cup. First the root goes down and then the plant grows up. Thank you for being my friends. I can't wait to see what we all grow up to become. And as it, by happenstance, conveniently says on my cap, we're off to great places. Today is our day. The world is waiting, so let's get on our way. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2019.
Told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. Well, it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pull, I'll be there for you. How do there be days like these? What she didn't tell you when the world was brought down to your knees. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. No one could ever know me, no one could ever see me. Seems you're the only one who knows what it's like to be me. Someone to face the day with, make it through all the rest with. Someone I'll always laugh with, even at my worst, I'm best with you. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, but it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too. I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. 'Cause you're there for me too.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Thompson. As class vice president, I am pleased to present Mr. Suda and Kinnelon High School with funds for our library media center for all students, faculty, and community members.
Thank you, Jackie. Class of 2019, Mr. Del Piano. Good evening. My name is Gary Suda, and I am the proud principal of Kinnelon High School. Mrs. DiGiuseppe, members of the Board of Education, Mayor Frida, Kinnelon Town Council, fellow faculty, staff, and of course, the proud parents and loved ones. Tonight, we honor a special group of students who have the distinction of being the Kinnelon class of 2019. Tonight is a celebration of your journey and the success of Kinnelon High School. Over the course of 4 years, your educational path has been guided by an exceptional team of teachers, counselors, coaches, directors, advisors, administrators, superintendent, and Board of Education. Additionally, your parents, friends, and community at large provided you with every resource, support, and opportunity so that you may grow, contribute, and reach your full potential. As you transition into the next phase of your life, please take a moment to reflect upon the endless lessons learned inside and outside the academic classroom, on the athletic field, or during an artistic performance such as Freebird performed at last evening's baccalaureate. Each experience added to the fabric you have woven during your education here at Kinnelon. The district worked endlessly to provide you with a plethora of educational experiences, rigorous curricula, and the critical skills necessary for the future. As educators, we strive to prepare you with the tools and the skills needed for future jobs. According to research, 85% of future careers leading to 2030 have not been invented yet. Career forecasters predict future workplace platforms will require an increased digital skill set to collaborate with machines as an integrated team. Research also predicts that artificial intelligence, or AI, will necessitate human employees to focus on more creative and critical thinking efforts, freeing the majority of the workforce from general tasks associated with jobs today. Our challenge as educators encourages the rapid development of the creativity and critical thinking skills. The evolution of the workplace, innovation, human nature, and flexibility have redefined educational career tracks. This wave of innovation will necessitate that students navigate ever-shifting and unpredictable environments, allowing students to jump from a moving swing set and successfully land on wood chips, rocks, sand, water, hot coals, or even a virtual reality. In essence, you will be expected to be able to repair a plane in flight under any and all conditions. As such, students will continue to be lifelong learners. Educators will need to cultivate that desire in them. Even further, in the recent Future Work Skills article, following new skills were described. Skills such as sense-making, social intelligence, novel and adaptive thinking, cross-cultural competency, computational thinking, new media literacy, design mindset, cognitive load management, and virtual collaboration. Collectively, an analysis of these skills indicates a world as we know it today that will see significant technological, economic, and political power shifts in the year 2030. Sense-making is one critical skill which involves the ability to determine deeper meaning in the significance of what is being expressed. As smart technology, AI, and hardware take over human production and service jobs, there will be a demand in skills that computers or machines do not process. Certain human higher level thinking skills that cannot be coded, programmed, or as intuitive, at least not yet. Certain sense-making skills help us create unique insights into critical decision-making. An example was IBM's supercomputer Deep Blue, defeated chess grandmaster Garry Karpov. Some considered the computer to have superior thinking skills. In reality, the computer won as a result of simple and rapid number crunching and its ability to evaluate millions of possible moves per second. As a result, smart technology may be able to beat a human in a game of chess or Jeopardy by its computational abilities. However, if you ask it whether it wants to play pool, locate a pupil, or check a reservation, it won't be able to tell whether you are talking about swimming, billiards, or a student, a hotel date, or a person hesitating with caution. Your generation may crack this code, lead the design of human intelligence 3 to 4 decades from now. Combine the future skill sets and the creativity and critical thinking skills with the forecast of novel workspaces which have not been invented, and your generation, Generation Z, has the potential to trailblaze as no other. Time will tell if your classification as the generation focused on the consumption of digital information and realistic perspectives is justified. It cannot be denied you are truly a digital native generation, growing up exclusively with the internet, social media, and smartphones, smartwatches, smart pens, IT, AI, many technologies Generation X and millennials had to learn or project. Generation Z may be ahead of the digital curve. Some statistics indicate the following. On the average, you use 5 screens, switching among them for different purposes. Smartphone, TV, laptop, desktop, and tablet. Millennials use 3. Our graduates have an average 8-second filter to determine whether something, someone, or information received is worth their attention, time, or money. 72% of Generation Z say they want to start their own business someday. 22% report that they are currently making money online through Amazon. 60% say they want their jobs to impact the world. On average, they spend between 6 to 9 hours per day devouring media that grabs their attention. 92% go online every day, and 24% say they are almost entirely online. What does this mean? Given their potential entrepreneurial spirit and realistic perspective, future skill set, the future canvas of the class of 2019 will paint a mosaic never seen before, either virtually or realistically. And if the future workplace doesn't adapt to their needs, then they just might imagine a new one. These skills, technologies, and freedom of thought were cultivated and embedded throughout your 4 years here at Kinnelon. I can't wait to see the world you create and lead over the next few decades. Class of 2019, although I feel a deep sense of loss as you leave our campus for the final time this evening, I feel a greater sense of pride, hope, and gratitude knowing that each and every one of you will lead our future society. Graduates, I am proud of you. It is my humble honor to be your principal, and I thank you for allowing me to serve you. Enjoy the rest of your lives, and remember, Kinnelon will always be your home. Congratulations, class of 2019. And now, will the class of 2019 please stand? Today, Thursday, June 20th, 2019, as principal of Kinnelon High School, I am certifying that the students of the class of 2019 have met all the requirements of the state of New Jersey for graduation. Ms. Diane DiGiuseppe, Superintendent of Kinnelon School District, I'm proud to present to you the graduating class of 2019. You may now please be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Suda. There's been a lot of comments made tonight, and I'm going to keep mine as short as I can because we're all feeling the humidity and the heat. Okay. So one thing I can say is the comments that have been spoken tonight by Sophia, by Sarah, by Peter, and by Mr. Suda all resonate with me, and there's a lot of the similar trends in my comments. I knew Mr. Suda's speech was similar to mine. We check with each other, and generally we're different pathways. But I thought it important enough for the kids behind us to really highlight who they are as people. So Mr. Suda spoke about Generation Z. That comes from the fact that social scientists and business marketers have a tendency to name generational cohorts based loosely on their birth year and more so on characteristics that define that generational cohort as a whole. They do this for many reasons, but mostly because each cohort of people care about and have vastly different issues and are receptive to different marketing messages. The greatest or silent generation are folks that were born before 45. We heard about the baby boomers, and then Generation X, who I and most of the parents in the room are a part of. Generation Y, aka the millennials that are getting all the attention right now. Were born between 77 and 95. And then there is Generation Z. And one thing we know about those cohort birth years, the periods are shrinking. And change has always been a constant in generational cohort similarities and differences. And it's based on the economy and how that economy helped to shape the members of the cohort. In fact, the exponential pace of technological innovation is leading the world into something called templosion. Templosion is a term coined to describe a period in which very large things happen in an increasingly compressed amount of time. The impacts of this acceleration and digital transformation, as Mr. Suda said, is felt everywhere. As I said, Generation X, we used a Mac machine. It's now called an ATM. We used Mac cards. We had a rotary dial phone. I had a cell phone that came in a suitcase. We got up to change the channel, but eventually we reached adulthood and as the internet became part of our lives. We saw the Berlin Wall fall, the Cold War end, and the end to apartheid in South Africa. But getting back to Generation Z, the new kids on the block, you've never known a non-digital world, one without smart devices, the internet, social networks, those things that Mr. Suda mentioned. Your perspectives on lifestyle and finances have been influenced by the weight of the Great Recession. When it comes to higher education, and scaffolding a promise of a future. Gen Zers are convinced that college is essential, and you are conscious of trying to get that college education without graduating with huge debt. Gen Zers are search for truth, value individual expression, and avoid labels. You mobilize yourselves for a variety of causes. You believe profoundly in the efficacy of dialogue to solve conflicts and improve the world. You will define the future. And we from previous generation cohorts are relying upon you in that definition. You have the potential to do great things. I'd like to end tonight by sharing a quote that hangs on my office wall. It happened to be given to me by the sister of one of the graduates, who I believe is here tonight, graduating in the graduating class of 2018, because I think it embodies the attitudes of the Gen Zers. It was written by Robert Folga. Most of you know him from Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. This is a little different quote for him. It reads, "I don't want to know what you will hope for. I want to know what you will work for. I don't want your sympathy for the needs of humanity. I want your muscle. As the wagon driver said when he came to the long, hard hill, them that's going with us, get out and push. Them that ain't, get out of the way." It's with great pride I congratulate the class of 2019. Go change the world. Mr. Suda, I accept this class.
Good evening. My name is Caroline Balick, incoming president of National Honor Society. At this time, would the student government please stand? It is my pleasure to introduce the following. Valedictorian and Executive Board Co-Recording Secretary, Peter Davin. Salutatorian, Sarah Doherty. (2019) Senior Class Officers, President, Sophia Hardy. Vice President, Jacqueline Thompson. Treasurer, Emma Doherty. Secretary, Sarah Harvin. Historian, Sarah Kinney. Student Council Executive Board Officers, Executive Board President, Susie Ramirez. Executive Board Vice President, Rachel Stewart. Executive Board Co-Treasurer, Jason Rienzo. Executive Board Co-Historian, Kendall Simmons. And Executive Board Co-Corresponding Secretary, Carly DeBrino. Sorry. Okay. Veronica Fink.
Freya Montesanto.
Isla Hamilton.
Chance Childs.
Samantha Zacharias.
Christopher Masciarelli.
Monique Zacharias.
Zach Seglachek.
Olivia Zacharias.
Gabriel Lipinski.
Emily Kassar.
Jacob Goldenberg.
Emma Klein.
Robert Krupski.
Golda Katz.
Perry Sirigliano. No card? Oh. You don't have to go.
Zoe English.
Yazin Abdallah.
Tiana Freeman.
Evan Lane.
Samantha McMullen.
Ethan Gross.
Kylie Pitt.
Jacob Lacasio.
Abigail Castell.
Nicholas Carlson.
Elizabeth Gray.
Vito Caprio.
Emily Kemp.
Everett Schneider.
Nicole Van Eker.
Evan Grenier.
Haley Hopkins.
Michael Ferrallo.
Rachel Dillon.
Connor Hines.
Diala Jamil Ammer.
Eric Mugallian.
Christina Avato.
Antoine Casabri.
Alexandra Carbone.
David Getzoff.
Rebecca Gomez.
Paul Breiterman.
Marissa Lametto.
Michael Camano.
Victoria Solikov.
Tyler Duffy.
Alicia Weglars.
Kelly Duffy.
Christiana Caprio.
Quinn Duffy.
Nadine Hattie.
James McAlevey.
Amy Lemin. Hope Wright.
Sean Forgy.
Layla Almospe.
Roshan Narma.
Zoe Buchman.
Kyle Rosenberg.
Paige Senecola.
Craig Smith.
Melissa Schneider.
Michael Strzelecki.
Caitlin Somerville.
Anthony Finelli.
Brittany Lau.
Stephen Olympio.
Angelina Tarabokia. Jessica Hanzo.
Ethan Butka.
Brianna Vanacore.
Anthony Bassi.
Cameron Lapp.
Felice Bonanno.
Jenna Maluso.
Samuel Calabrese.
Sabrina Rose.
Tyler Daniels.
Catherine McGowan.
Anthony Famulero.
Taryn Demery.
Geyser Goya.
Anna Berthume.
Stephen Pelliconi.
Isabella Ospina.
Keith Montina.
Emily Ackerman.
Alexander Knoll.
Danielle Donker.
Paul Cassiopo III.
Gabriela Gulevich.
Damien Di Toronto.
Veronica Marutz.
Mitchell Donis.
Charlotte Wheeler.
Graham Fraser.
Caitlin Chen.
Stephen Polakowski.
Marina Columbia.
Stanley Joseph Rymors IV.
Olivia Fusa.
James O'Neill.
Peyton Fogarty.
Joaquin Soriano.
Victoria Kaufman.
Adam Abdallah.
Emily Less.
Kyle Shaper.
Benedict Shanahan.
Kevin Rule.
Robert Lewitt III.
Christoph Gloviak.
Luke Florio.
Gregory Fu.
Dylan Krauskopf.
Zachary Dunches.
Frank Panucci.
Tyler Dableski.
Stephen Simmons.
Dante Kalikova.
Saeed Akbar Zaidi.
Valerie Zune.
Alex Arrowwood.
Sarah Campos.
Nicholas Lombardo.
Aaron Morris.
Mitchell Polovoy.
Conchetta Vecchione.
Benjamin Stickle.
Brianna Dorward.
Evan Airy.
Abigail Bosch.
Thomas Hatch.
Catherine Brown.
Aiden Zor.
Veronica Michlevitz.
Gregory Brinster.
Julia Solarchek. Lindsay Sokolik. Miranda Byrne. Caitlin Downey. Erin O'Mara. Milena Rajashevska. Max G. Daniel Amos. Robert Moriello III. Ryan Lafragola. James Doherty. And Cooper Bresky.
Okay, please stand and join us for the singing of our alma mater located on the program back cover and the back cover of your diploma. As dictated by tradition, I ask the class of 2019 to move your tassel from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly present the Kinnelon High School class of 2019!